to Soul Sexy.
Soul Sexy. Did you like that intro?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Okay,
I love it.
Anyway, so wow, this has been an incredible year, and it's about to wrap up.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's
How time flies.
How time flies. It's insane.
It's like every day goes by a little slower, but each year goes by way faster.
I do agree. You know when they say when you're younger, and I remember my dad always saying this to me, like, time flies, you'll see it. I'm like, no, it takes forever. Christmas is so far away, you know? And then now I'm like, oh my God, like where did it go? Like, where did it go?
That's how we know time is a man-made concept.
This is very true. This is very true. Well, you're looking really spiffy today.
Thanks. I decided to dress extra sexy.
Oh.
Because we're having an amazing guest on today.
Yes.
Paris.
Ta-da. And she is dressing so sexy, but as usual, because Paris is a celebrity stylist, so of course she is dressing so sexy to the nines.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, Paris.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So, okay, going into the holiday season, I feel like for me, I get overwhelmed with like, there's so much shopping and there's so many things. And I'm excited because I love shopping. Like, I love shopping. And used to be a personal shopper back in the day, hence my shopping addictions.
I can see that.
And Paris knows, like, I have a closet from hell. Actually, Charles, I think you know too. And you just open it up and like stuff falls out all over the place. And I forget that I even have like tags on items, you know, and I'm like, one day I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I had this and I bought it 2 years ago. Lovely. Is that still in? And so like, I get overwhelmed with just looking at it, and then I give up and I'm like, I have nothing to wear. I'll just go and buy something. And then I go and buy something because I don't feel like going through the cluster in my closet. And so I feel like this rings true for many people out there, or many of my friends at least, especially my mom. Thanks, Mom. That's where I got it from. And or it's the opposite, where people don't have much. It's like, I feel like a lot of guys are minimalists, especially in San Diego area and whatnot, or in LA. And they're like, yeah, I have 5 shirts and or whatever, and this is just what I wear. And they wear the same things over and over. And that drives me nuts when I see that on people, because see, I remember things. And I'm like, you just wore that.
Yesterday.
Yeah. And like, you know, and that's like a tidbit thing for me. So people like Paris come in and they help save our lives. Whether it's my closet, which I can't even open, and then I just keep buying more because I'm like, well, I'll just buy more because I can't open it. So this works. To nothing. So Paris,
Yes.
how did you get into this field?
Okay.
Yeah, let's actually start there.
Start from the beginning.
Yeah.
All right. So I had quite a long career in retail. Through that, I was an activewear stylist, you could say, at Lorna Jane. Which was kind of cool because we were doing a lot of activewear
and for those that don't know, Lorna Jane is like Lululemon here in the States.
It's Australia's biggest activewear brand for women. So I started in retail earlier than that, but that was kind of where I got the first insight into actually putting together full looks and being kind of like a stylist. People would kind of book appointments and they would come in and things like that. And the area I was in was a super wealthy area of Sydney. So they would come in and looks galore. Yeah. Which was really cool. So from there, I did study fashion and styling back in high school. And then I kind of was enjoying it again, so I got back into it. And then from there, I did a styling course and it just kind of steamrolled. I worked for another company, a dress hire company, and we did the Bachelor, Bachelorette, things like that, red carpet events. And then, I went away for a little while and did some other career choices, and then now I'm back, so it's really exciting.
We all tend to do that. We do. But at least you've come back to like what you truly love, you know. And fashion is definitely your thing, and she loves to shop just as much as I do. Except she gets to shop for other people, so that's kind of cool.
It's fun.
So Paris, when you see a closet that is like mine and I'm just like chaos for sure in the closet. That's actually interesting.
All kinds of skeletons hiding
chaos in the closet.
I like that term.
Where else?
There could be. There's that much in there. So.
Yeah. So how would you start with me? Like if I call you and I'm like, I don't know what to do and I can't find anything to wear. I mean, obviously I have a ton of things to wear, but I'm like, I'm over it. What would you do? How do you start?
before we get to the closet,
Yeah.
we actually would have a sit down and we would go through what you like, what you don't like, what suits you, what doesn't suit you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of those kind of things.
So like a style profile.
A style
of like,
profile. We build mood boards with the color palettes and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And then from there, we would go to your closet,
Mm-hmm.
pull it all apart,
Oy.
get rid of the stuff that you don't like or maybe haven't worn in the last like 2 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd put that on this side, and then what we would do is get the stuff that you wear like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd kind of pull that to the middle and then just see what we can work with that is in the closet. And then what doesn't work can get donated or passed down.
Or go in the garage because it always comes back around every 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
That is the
Retro,
next thing.
vintage.
I have some vintage stuff. And what's so funny is like I thought it was so crazy when I hear the word vintage. I think of like 1920s, 1930s, you know.
Yeah.
And like now vintage, I recognize as like 10 years ago. I'm like,
It's coming back
it's-
around again.
yeah.
vintage.
And you can do, that's a good thing with a lot of coats and scarves
Yeah.
and accessories, more or less, and shoes, because they just cycle through all the time.
Shoes never get old.
No.
Yeah.
I have too much stuff in my closet too. I was giving Bridgetta a hard time, then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I have some old stuff that
Actually-
I've never used that I'm hoping will come back as vintage. So
Yeah.
I tried to make a rule. I was like, okay, my closet's too full, so I'm going to get rid of stuff before I buy
Yeah.
new things.
I tried that.
And
Didn't work.
yeah, it's a hard rule to stick with.
Really
huh?
hard
You
rule.
find something cool. You're
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It is
I'll
because you get
just add
attached
on.
to the clothing.
Yeah.
So
And so
whether
that's
you've worn it one time or like 10 times, you're like, oh, do I really want to throw it out? I should because I want to buy new stuff.
Yeah.
But then
there's that one
know.
day that you're going to need it.
Exactly.
For that one
Yeah.
party.
that may never come. Or it
Meanwhile, it's
Or you're-
collecting cobwebs.
could.
the
Yes.
whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Or like women, like men don't probably do this, but women do. And we're like, we're having like, you know, we're skinny now and these are our fat clothes in case like, you know, we're like on our period that month or we just happen to go gain a little bit more or through the holidays or you've gained a few pounds and you're like, oh, those are my skinny clothes. I'm saving those for later. And like later never happens, right?
Right.
But we just always save them. That's like a thing I think women do. But you're right with the emotional part because
Yeah.
I think back to times that I've worn them and I'm like, oh, but this was a good memory. I'm just going to save it because that was fun, you know? And then I have ones that are like not good memories and it's
Well,
funny.
they
I
hold
will
the
give
energy.
those away. You're right.
Yeah.
They do.
All the clothes
Yeah.
hold the energy. So if you're not clearing, especially like clearing the clothes or if they're
Yeah.
like stored away for whether it's a garage or collecting cobwebs in the cupboard,
Yeah.
they are storing energy.
Right. It's
So-
taking up
So-
bandwidth in our brain
Yeah.
too, just having all those spaces filled with clothes and
Yep.
different things
Mm-hmm.
that we're not using. It's still
Yep.
using up bandwidth. And so it's
Very
interesting
true.
getting into like, you've probably seen some crazy stuff in closets, huh? Like with hoarders. Do you ever deal with
Hoarders.
I've seen some interesting stuff. My own was pretty interesting for a very long time. It kind of looked like Brigetta's, and that was when I was living in 3 separate cities, and it was just like
yeah.
chaos and clothes everywhere
Mhm.
and things like that. But I have definitely seen a lot of crazy stuff in closets.
What would be the weirdest
Yeah.
thing that you have found in someone's closet?
dare we ask?
Oh yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Besides like
A lot
the
of
obvious
secrets
of
in there.
sexual things that I'm sure are stuffed in.
Yes.
They're stuffed in mine.
Yeah, there is many of that.
Who doesn't have a sex box? Everyone has a sex box hidden somewhere.
Gotta have one.
Gotta have
so.
one. Yeah.
I found a lot of really old, tacky Halloween costumes.
Mhm.
That is
That
like,
could be fun.
It's a
Mhm.
standard one.
Yeah.
A lot of
Oh, you know, what was that movie? And it was like they were like a brides, like always the bridesmaid, and she had like, do you remember what I'm talking about?
I think
If
so,
anyone out there knows, there's this movie, and I can't remember what it was, and the chick, the star of it, she's a known actress, and she was like always a bridesmaid, never a bride, and had
27
like
dresses?
yeah,
Yeah.
she had 27 dresses, and she came out like modeling them all, and you're like, oh, those are horrendous. Why are you saving them?
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure some of those.
There's some really interesting things, you know, like there's just, you know, you could go on forever about
Yeah.
Mhm.
all the stuff, but the Halloween costumes are the ones that stand out because you really get to see everyone's individual style through those kind of
Or
costumes
personality.
and their personality.
What if
We
they
get
were a
to-
donut? What's their style? I'm kidding.
Well,
Just kidding. Anyway.
Take a bite of that.
You're right.
And yeah, that's Halloween, alter egos, costumes.
yes,
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
That is a lot of fun. I do love dressing people for Halloween.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of play around with it so much, and it's not, they're not going to an event or they're not going to work or something like that. So you can just go crazy with it, and whatever happens with it, which is really cool.
And what about like dressing for your body type? And it's interesting because like you see these, okay, this person's an apple shape or a pear shape or I don't know, square or whatever that circle. I'm just making stuff up at this point. But
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. There you go.
We got to dress SpongeBob over here.
Anyway,
we need to do something with your rectangle.
Oh, a square. Anyway, but what I've looked at those like diagrams before, and I'm like, I don't know what I think. I'm an hourglass. Like I'm like pretty even at the top, like it's the same as the bottom. And hey, actually that came in handy. I booked a lot of modeling because of that, and I didn't realize how odd that was. I didn't realize that so many people weren't proportionate, like in that sense. I just wasn't thinking. And anyway, so I learned that in Hollywood, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like,
oh yeah.
Anyway, so what is that? How would you dress for pear shape or whatever what are these shapes?
Okay.
And like how would you dress? And I know with like bathing suits, you dress to their bodies, and you can make like people that are heavier look amazing. And not that you're not look amazing anyway. Let me just reiterate that because I don't want anyone to get mad at me. But you know what I mean?
Tiger.
Or skinny look, like they're not as skinny. 'Cause I know everyone has body like disconfidence. Is that a word?
Body image is a big thing.
Disconfidence.
I'm really
We're
making up
new
words today.
It works.
But you know what I mean? I think a lot of people do. I mean, I go through it. We all go through it at some point. So how do you address that?
So that kind of, if you're, say it's a one-on-one client, that would be in the initial consult, you go through, you work with the body shape. And then a lot of stores nowadays actually have the separate sections. So they have like petite, or they'll have like all the coats over here. So it's really about personally knowing your body type and what you feel confident in is a big part of it. Because if you're not, if you're not confident in it, it's going to look not great.
Right. That's the most important thing of clothes.
Yeah.
And style is that it's something that makes you feel confident.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And you can really enhance it by doing that. And the biggest thing is that making sure that you're not wearing stuff that doesn't suit your body shape.
Right, because then you can actually, and that's true. Like I've seen some, amazing women that are larger sizes, and they look incredible because their clothing fits them.
Yes.
Like it looks great.
Yeah.
Versus someone trying to, and I'm guilty of this too. I'm like, I'm gonna fit in these pants. I'm gonna fit in them. And then you're like, oh, they don't fit, but you squeeze into them, and then like, maybe like you have side fat or something, and you're like, oh, it doesn't look good at all, but dang it. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
avoiding.
my only prerequisites.
Yeah.
It has to be comfortable and look good. That's it.
Yeah.
Like simple. I don't
Fit
really
well.
care so much about name brands. Or
I do.
Like I like if it feels good. Like I can do high kicks.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
you do. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
your
then
test.
I can still
Yep.
move
Okay.
and like
I like that.
move around
Yeah.
in them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a ninja is always ready.
A ninja is
True.
always
So
ready.
you gotta
Okay.
dress
Words from a
gotta-
wise man.
gotta dress
A
accordingly.
ninja is always ready. I am a label whore.
I
Of course.
was.
I can't help it, and but I love like small mom and pop shops too. I love supporting them. Don't get me wrong, but I love my labels. Can't help it. They're well made. They're better.
It's
made.
the quality.
It is.
The quality over quantity a lot of the time, and that's, when it comes to having a wardrobe that's got like 300 items in it, as opposed to, maybe having like 40.
Yeah.
Because there is brands out there that are fast fashion, or what we call fast fashion, and they're just mass producing things, and
Like a Forever 21 or something.
yes, the environment may not be taken into account, and those kind of things. And it lasts like maybe two
Couple
weeks,
washes.
a couple washes.
Yeah.
It might last 6 months, but it's very inaccurate. And when you go to designer labels, you don't get that.
Yeah, you
It's
don't.
consistency and quality.
Absolutely.
And you might pay $1,000 more, but you know that you might have it for 10 years.
Yeah.
So in the long term, it's a lot more affordable.
And I think what's great with you too is that when you help someone do a closet, do a closet. That sounds weird. When you help someone,
I build it, do I?
build
Do your
it.
closet.
Yeah, do your closet. Hi.
Let's build it.
If you build it, they will come. Anyway, but when you help someone create their perfect wardrobe, whether they have, pieces or whatever, if it's overabundant like mine or nothing. I think like with you, it's great because you can find like these core pieces that will work over and over again. So when you have core pieces that like work over and over, no matter like they're timeless, what are considered timeless pieces?
So timeless pieces would be anything that like a simple black jean, a black blazer, anything in a neutral palette that you can wear pretty much anywhere. You could wear it to work, you could wear it to dinner, an event, dress it up, dress it down. But definitely keeping in neutral. So your browns, blacks, whites, greys are going to keep the staples because those colors don't ever go out of fashion. So you wouldn't go and say that, a bright pink jacket is a staple because it's probably going to be around for a year.
And you can use it for a Halloween costume.
You can, yes. Yeah. So that, I would
or
say
your sex costume that you have hidden.
Oh.
That goes in the box.
It goes in the box.
Put it in the box for later.
Yeah.
So jeans, blazers, coats, anything of those color palettes are normally what are considered staples. And then when it comes to shoes and accessories, good staples like black boots, all that sort of stuff, black shoes, gold, silver jewelry that's really simple. And then you can have your statement pieces, but they're separate.
Right. They're not like timeless.
You know what else I'm excited about in fashion?
Yes.
And the whole industry is that now there's more conscious communities coming out with ethical and sustainable clothing lines. And let's talk about that for a minute because
let's talk about what that is.
And the impact it has on Earth. You know?
So as we mentioned before, there's fast fashion. Now everything's turning in a more conscious direction. Brands are actually taking into account not only the environment of the staff, but also where the fabric actually comes from. So a lot of the, say, designer labels, the fabric has always come from good sources, but they may not have had the other side that was a good source. They might have had a sweatshop in China, for example. But now it's kind of all been brought together, and as the way that everyone's moving into more conscious direction, it kind of is just rolled into the fashion world, and everyone's kind of like, okay, well, we need to be more conscious. So what are we going to do to keep this growing? Because otherwise the fashion industry would be dead.
Right. And I think it's cool too. Like you're seeing some, like Tiki, for example, is a great like resource in a sense, where Tiki, by the way, is a women's brand of yoga clothing, and all of their pants are made from recycled plastic bottles, which is really cool. So that's like a great company. And then,
well, my upcoming one is also completely sustainable.
Yes, Paris does have a line coming out soon.
Yes, it's a men's activewear line, completely sustainable and eco, all of the above.
So you can throw high kicks in them.
You can.
Yes.
Yep.
You could do lots of ninja kicks in those.
Lots of them.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, and I think a lot of companies are also incorporating bamboo, it seems like, as well, because bamboo grows everywhere. It
and
grows
the quality,
like a weed.
Quality of it.
And pandas eat it.
Pandas eat it.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yep.
It's important we add that in. Oh, wow.
Just so you know.
Yes, exactly.
But the quality of bamboo has increased significantly, and it's being used in a lot of activewear.
Yeah.
But also in a lot of coats and, basic staple pieces.
I think the bamboo quality is great because it's like stretchy, but you could wash it a bunch of times, and it's like, it doesn't dull down or lose its elasticity.
Yeah.
So I really do like those. They are more expensive, but I also feel like they help with sweat too. Like it pulls the sweat out versus like for activewear.
Yes.
So it is. Right.
It is like heat resistant and all that sort of stuff as well when it comes to activewear and moisture wicking. And
So comfortable, ethical, and has to look good.
Yep.
Those are like the prerequisites. Now I have 3. I forgot about that important one. And I'm excited because there's so much of that coming out now. Like even my beloved has a clothing line. It's called Cross Pollen.
Cool.
And it's ethically sustained from these alpaca fur. So it is the softest capes you could imagine. She makes these goddess capes. So it's like things like that where it's a win-win-win for everyone.
Yes.
Right? You get to wear it with pride and know that you're doing your part for the environment and you look sexy in it.
100%.
It's a win-win.
And And I bet like you too, when you're feeling all like you're feeling confident and you're feeling like so sexy, you see people's switch probably. Like I'm sure you've got people that come to you and they're like, I don't know what to do, and they're overwhelmed and they're like, help. You know, 'cause I think when we like tend to call in a professional, whether it's like a hair person, you're in crisis mode, or a stylist, you're like, I have an event, I need something, or I have this wedding or whatever it is that you're going to, you're like in this need mode. Yeah. And so I guess it's got to be amazing to see. I just ate the mic.
It's got to be amazing to see your face plant the mic.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
I mean, I knew I was tired, but dang. But like, it's got to be amazing to see the transition that people have, because it's got to be kind of like a therapist in a sense too.
Yeah, it is really great, because a lot of the time you go in and again they're so overwhelmed that it takes a while for the overwhelm to wash away. And then you really are able to see their personality come through. But you also, you know, it becomes a coach in a sense, because you obviously talk about day-to-day things and other things in your life that relate to the style. And then when you do that, it kind of is like a full transformation, not only with what they're wearing, but in their mind as well.
And probably therapy, just to like get rid of the emotions that are attached to whatever clothing is in there in the first place.
Letting go.
Yeah.
Right? Letting go of the past is so challenging for some, right?
I'm sure you've seen tears.
I'm sure when you're going through people's closets, they're like, no, not that one.
Oh, God.
Yeah. That was the case with my own for a very long time as well. I was like, nope. And then I had like 30 pairs of shoes. I wore like 2 of them on a regular basis, but I was so energetically attached to them that
I'm not getting rid of my shoes.
Get rid of them.
I'm not. That's
I'm
not
sure
happening.
you're the same.
I have over like 200 pairs of shoes. I can't help it. I have a shoe fetish. I actually built this contraption. If you saw them in my closet, where they hang from my ceiling in my closet, so I can look up and I'm like, ooh, which pair actually, like, you know, I can see them all.
So you can dream about shoes.
It's like wonderful. I love shoes. Like shoes make an outfit. They enhance your legs. You know, like, like you could just be wearing all black and have like, boom, those shoes, you know.
Sex and the City totally showed us that.
Exactly.
All about the shoes.
And Gossip Girl.
Yes.
My 2 favorite shows.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Totally. So, okay, getting back to like the holidays and what's coming up. How would you, you know, let's say, you know, Charles, you're going to meet, you know, your significant other's parents for the first time. You know, what are you going to wear? What would you just wear, just not thinking about it? Or do you get all hung up on, oh my God, what am I going to wear?
Yeah, you like to make a good impression, but you also want to be yourself. You know, so
would you wear that T-shirt?
I pulled out the like Dumb and Dumber suit from the closet.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Hey guys, nice to meet you. Show up as a clown. No, that'll make a good first impression.
I would just love to video that. That would be hilarious to see everyone's reactions, including hers. Yeah. At that point.
No, I dress nice when we go out. I wear what I feel confident in, what I feel good in, so that I can be myself in meeting new people, you know.
And what recommendations would you give, Paris?
That is the first one I would give. Make sure you're comfortable and confident in it, and it feels good. And then, you know, it doesn't really matter what other people think. It's all about how it feels to you. And obviously, from a female perspective, you may want to be conservative if you're doing that. Short skirts and that sort of thing are probably not the go. But jumpsuits are really in this season, so that is a really good alternative.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
I want to hear about the fashion faux pas.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What are the no? What are the big like, oh, no, you didn't?
Okay.
Because it's probably a blessing and a curse, right? What you do?
Yes,
because
absolutely.
you probably like, oh my God, did she really wear that? Or like,
I walk the street and I don't like to judge and I don't judge, but I'm like, if only they were separate outfits, that would be great. You know?
Right.
I love how you worded that. That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Actually, like you the other day when I was trying to wear I wanted to wear these shoes and I wanted to wear this dress. And she's like, they don't go. I'm like, but they could go if you looked at it this way. And she's like, they don't go. And I'm like, but there's this color and there's that color in it.
You
so
really
they go.
wanted to make it go. Huh?
She wanted to make it work. I gave her a ton of other options that the shoes could go with. But yes.
I didn't wear them. I listened to her anyway. But yeah, I guess it was too busy. It was too many colors. So I guess that's one of the main thing fashion faux pas is don't have too many colors.
No.
Like it's
And if you are going to have a lot of color, throw a neutral in there, please. Yeah, absolutely. Like a black or a white or something that can break it up.
So what do you think about the old saying of you can't wear white past Easter?
I think that's ridiculous.
Yes.
I think it's BS
I've never even heard that.
I was like,
just make this
when
up.
you mentioned that to me,
It's a big thing. It's a big thing. It's funny because I notice a lot just because I'm bi-coastal.
I love that.
I know I had to. Growing up on the East Coast, there's so many rules. There's so many laws. And I think it's because it's more strict because New York and those areas, anything on the East Coast comes from more. There's Irish, there's Italian, there's Jewish, there's
a lot
like
of
this
European
staple
heritage.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's a lot of these strict rules that come from that. And these are all the rules that you do over there. Like you just do not wear white in the winter. And then it's funny over here, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
so
and in Australia, it doesn't matter at all.
But this was an actual rule. And I remember my mom being like, you can only wear white. You wear white at Easter. Yeah. And then when it turns to like the cold, at some point, Memorial Day. You wear white whatever. What's the holiday in September? Whatever that is. Labor Day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Memorial Day to Labor Day, you can wear white. Any other times you can't. And it's like a fashion faux pas. And it has been that way for so long. Although, however,
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's an East Coast thing.
I haven't heard of it either until you mentioned it.
Of course, East Coasters.
Don't we have enough rules already?
Black. Yeah, do we really need fashion rules?
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's like not the case anymore because I'm seeing like
don't
white
think
coats
so.
and
There's
all kinds
white
of stuff for
everywhere all the time.
Yeah, people break that rule left and right, I think. Thank God.
And white's the staple piece, so yeah, it's good to break that rule.
Yeah.
How about like flip-flops and socks? Those are cool
what
now, right?
the heck?
No.
Dude, I saw someone wear that the other day, and I was like, I'm sorry.
Those aren't cool
like,
yet?
I know my face like tells
they won't
everything.
Ever be cool.
I'm
they
still
won't
waiting.
ever be cool. And I remember this the other day. I was in like boot camp. And this is like, because I'm in.
See how grossed out she got?
Oh my God.
She's like, oh my God.
I know my face says it all. And I can't hide it. I can't help it. Like, I will give dirty looks. I like can't help. And I'm trying to like, and then I'm like, no, it's good. Everything's fine. And I'm like, it's all over your face. But there was a guy in boot camp the other day I was watching, and because I look at fashion all the time, and he had on tennis shoes with like knee-high socks. They were like here, and they were like sneakers with knee-high socks. And I'm like, this ain't no basketball like court. What are you doing? Why? It's not field hockey. Like, what are you doing?
I think there's a time and a place for that style.
What is that?
And it has
That's
to
like
really
80s.
suit you.
Or what even? Where did that even come from?
Yeah, it's come back around a lot. I wouldn't advise it, but it's each to their own, and it's a unique style.
Keeps your legs warm. It's functional.
I suppose. Yeah,
depending
on how warm the socks are.
I mean, I don't quite get it. I get if you're playing basketball, like that's the thing. If you're playing a sport, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's like how I grew up. Like you dress for what you're doing, you know? And when you play a sport, you protect your shins. And so you wear high socks when you're in soccer and lacrosse and field hockey and basketball and nothing else. Unless you want to pretend you're a little girl with pigtails. Or you're having a sexy night out.
It is interesting though when we start judging other people's styles and what they're wearing and stuff, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's like a quick check-in.
Yeah.
And you get that and then it's kind of like, well, for me, I'll notice when I'm judging and I'll be like, all right, let's back off a little bit, let that thought go. And then I wonder what's going on in their head though.
Yeah.
Like I'm curious, like
I want to
they
know.
get up and they're like,
maybe it's their favorite lucky pair of socks.
Today I'm going to have this beautiful girl named Bridgetta check me out because of my socks.
The thing is he was a hot guy. He was a suit because I was looking, and he was, and of course I'm in boot camp, and I was like, working out, and I was like, oh, my muscles look good now, and then I'm like looking over, and I'm like, oh, that guy's hot. Oh,
and then he put his shoes on, and you.
And I was because I start from the top, and I like look at the eyes, and then I looked all the way down to the shoes, and I was like, oh, and I literally did that, and I was like, why? And then I was like, okay, well maybe there's lucky socks. You know, his lucky stinky socks that he has to wear.
Maybe.
He was hoping you would ask him why. Icebreaker.
But
that
would
is
be
a thing.
peacocking.
People do that.
That's called peacocking.
Yeah.
And that was from that dating guru. I won't call him guru because dating loser. Sorry, that's mean. I was in his book. Anyway,
Wow.
that's a whole thing. Yeah, his name was like Magic or whatever. He was The Game. So if you guys remember that
Oh yeah.
TV show, and then and then the book that came out. So he invented this thing called peacocking, and it does work. Because like even at the event we were at last night, this guy had this whole feather mohawk, and it was like feathers that stuck out, and he's the only one that had it. So of course people are like, oh, what is that? And they're coming up to him and they're looking at it, and he's getting looked at, right? Mm-hmm. So that's like an attention getter. So it's like a staple
It's like
piece.
His
totally.
fat penguin, his icebreaker.
It's his fat penguin. Yeah, it's his elf.
Yeah.
I've always wanted one.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off subject, but
We've taken a tangent.
Yes. So, anyways, fashion faux pas.
Yes. No-nos.
Trainers with jeans.
Really?
But like flared
Sneakers.
style jeans.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Like the
it's-
running.
Yeah, like
Like the
tennis
running
shoes.
tennis
Like
shoes with
shoes that
jeans,
are
yeah.
literally for the gym and that's it.
Yeah.
Obviously, high tops and things like that. That's cool. But yes, jeans with, no.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You know what else is like jeans that don't fit on men? Like when they fall down. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
What is that?
Or when they deliberately put them lower.
I don't understand
Yeah.
that. I don't want to see your ass crack unless you're like a construction worker. I don't get that either. I don't want to see that. But like, I don't understand. What is that? Where did that come from?
I don't know. I think there's a few maybe celebrities out there that started that trend and it just went viral.
We don't want to see that. Us women don't want to see your ass crack until we want to see your ass crack.
Until
Okay.
then, until then, keep it under wraps.
Yeah,
Keep
unless
going.
we ask to. No, I'm serious.
And
we don't want to see
we are
it.
in charge of where our eyes go too. Just to
Okay,
remind
when
you.
someone's pants are falling down, I'm gonna look.
And keep looking.
And because
keep
I'm either
looking.
like, what are they doing? And then I'm like, do they know? That's actually my first thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, do they know their pants are falling
You
down?
put like a little flag in there.
I don't. Yeah, and I almost
We've
like want to
made
be
it.
like, do you know?
Mhm.
And then I realize, oh, they know. Oh, okay. And like, who wants to walk around like keep pulling up because they keep pulling up their pants? Like, who wants to do that? I don't.
Belts go a long way.
Yeah.
Belts are a good staple.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Belts can be a good staple.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Any other
Okay.
fashion faux pas?
There's none that are really around right now, I don't think. I mean, there's a lot that are unique, definitely, but
What
I wouldn't
about-
say they're...
Thong swimwear on men.
Nah.
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 It is very popular in Australia.
Yeah. It
I have
depends on
found-
where you
Let's
are.
not
right?
talk about it in
It's
Australia,
like,
yes.
it's like, what is this Speedo craze with men
Oh,
in
the Speedo
Australia?
craze?
I don't want to.
Well, I mean,
mean-
it is... In Australia, it's Speedos are a big thing.
Why?
I haven't quite uncovered that yet.
Literally.
I'm like, why?
That was funny.
But
Good one.
it is a unique trend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it did, well, yeah, it's just unique.
I mean, so is it like a cool thing to do? So if you're like with your guy and he's gonna like, you're gonna go to the beach and he's gonna wear his Speedo, you're like, yeah, that's my man, like right there. Or are you like, what are you doing? I had a guy like back in the day I was dating. He was from Australia, and
Be
or
careful,
UK.
be nice.
And no, I don't
There you
yeah. And he had the Speedos, and
You
he
know who
wouldn't.
you are.
Yeah, whatever. he knows what I did. I cut them in pieces so he couldn't wear them. I was like,
Damn.
you can't wear this with me.
You cut up his
You don't
favorite
like
banana
cutters?
hammock?
No. That's just I don't
Okay.
want like no.
It's, I think in Australia, I mean, a lot of athletes wear them all the
I
time.
mean, I don't mind looking if it's an
Um,
underwear ad, but like, or if it's in my
An
bedroom.
underwear ad? Yeah. Okay.
But I don't on the beach. I'm like, I don't want to see your junk hanging around.
No, you're not into the banana hammocks, huh?
No, at all.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not a big fan. Never have been.
Yeah. Anyway.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So back to the holidays. What are
Let's get relevant.
Let's get back. So when it comes to like shopping for the holidays,
Yeah.
what are some tips and tricks that people can have?
My first tip would be shop online
Mm-hmm.
or know what you're shopping for before you go out to shop.
That's a good
call.
one.
Because if you don't know, you end up overspending.
Mhm.
You also end up with the same thing in 6 different colors.
Mhm. Make your Christmas
True.
list first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you also end up in a bit of a cluster and sometimes don't find anything because you've got all these ideas in your head and nothing's on paper or nothing's on a mood board.
This is true.
And you just get so overwhelmed that you walk around for 4 hours, find nothing, and then leave no further advance than you were when you got there.
Yeah. Let's
Except
explain.
maybe mentally confused.
Right. Or you buy a bunch of stuff that you don't need.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of crap.
And that happens all the time. Whereas if you go online, for example, you can put it all in the basket, and then before you check out, you review the basket so you see what you need, what you don't need. You can have your mood boards there or your whatever you need, and then you can just make sure everything's there. And
don't you love the virtual baskets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Huh?
And
everything just delivered. But how do you know it fits well? Like, how can you...
You return it if you don't like it.
Yeah, well,
that's
I mean,
the
that's...
thing with online shopping for me.
Yeah.
True.
Size conversion charts. And then read the
size
reviews.
conversion, read the reviews, stick to what you know with online shopping. Like if you haven't tried the shop before, maybe go in store first and see, try it on, see how it fits, and then next time you can shop online. But yeah, make sure you don't go out and spend hundreds of dollars and then have to return everything.
Yeah, read the return policy. Very fine lines.
Read the return policy,
Good to know.
100%. Yes.
So, okay, let's explain to people what mood boards are, because you've said it several times, and I think a lot of people have no clue what that means.
Yeah. So in fashion, it's in design, it's in style, it's everywhere. But a mood board is basically where you create the colors, you get items that, you put items on a board and they choose whether they like it, styles, shoes, bags, jackets, whatever it is, create looks.
Okay, so you're creating outfits.
Creating
basically.
a look, basically. Yeah,
Okay.
kind of like what I did for you with the event.
Right.
Create the look, and then you send it to the client, and they go, yes, no, change this, change that. But that's what they have to work with.
Yeah, and share that with me for example, for an event that we went to. I had the dress already, and I had several dresses. So we chose.
We narrowed it down.
We narrowed it down, and it was like one big sheet, and I had the dress here with the shoes, and then the jewelry choices that could go with it. And then she had several of them, and I could pick from like which options that I liked best.
Was that easier for you?
It was way easier because I couldn't have imagined that way. I'm like, I don't know, like whatever. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out later. And then of course I'm always late if I figure it out later.
Never happens.
And so never. But I have to say, being prepared, it's like meal prepping. Your your clothes prepping.
Yeah.
So
100%.
that actually really saved a lot of time.
Yeah.
And a lot of less headaches, because then I knew I also sent that mood board to my hairstylist and then to my makeup artist, where they were like, oh, we already know what we're going to do with her when she arrives.
Yeah.
So
It
that was
saves
really
time
cool.
on that end as well.
Yeah. And then because usually I get like anxiety before an event. I'm like, especially when it was my birthday, big event that I do every year. And I'm like, oh my God, I've got this, I got that. And you saw I was setting up the event for like hours before, sweating on. And then I'd be worrying about what shoes, like in the back of my mind, or what this or what that. And so anxious, and then so freaking out, and like a total hot mess, and then showing up late, and then being like, yeah, and then I'm all like stressed, and then
Not this year.
Nope, not this year. Not this year. So that was really cool. It was like huge help. I thought that was just amazing. And I feel like this can come in handy for work outfits through the week.
Yeah.
Especially for those that are in, a 9-to-5 job, and you're like, what do I wear each week? And having that preset is pretty rad. To have a mood board, I don't know if you do it for a whole month or season.
You can do
how
it.
You do it.
It depends what the client is after. Really, you can do it for an event. You can do it for the whole season. You can do it for a week, a day, one outfit. It really just depends what they're after.
And that's really cool. And so you could take pieces that are actually in the closet and piece them together.
Yeah.
And then would you
Snap
go
a
shopping
photo.
for them as well, or if they needed others?
If they need other stuff, you go shopping. But the mood boards are definitely the first step to be able to see what else is needed and how we can go.
So question, your tagline is intuitive styling. What exactly does intuitive styling mean?
Okay, so with intuitive styling, it's more about making sure that, we talked about confidence and comfortability before, but it's really making sure that you yourself are connecting with the client on a personal level and with heart and centered and balanced, and making sure that, it's not just they're a client and let's throw a dress on them and they're done. Like really creating that relationship, making sure that they're comfortable, everyone's comfortable, they know what they're doing.
So going in with compassion.
Yeah.
And then when you're helping people as well, do you set up hair, makeup all of it if you need, or do you like?
We can definitely point them in the direction of that.
So Paris is one shop stop.
Yes, you can. But I suggest that being, a process after fittings and after mood boards, and that's kind of like a final touch that you would add once you have the complete outfit together. Throughout it, you would have an idea of what look you may want or something like that. But yeah, then scheduling those appointments and making sure everything's in order.
And so do you have relationships with like different, department stores or brands or whatnot?
Yes. It depends. There's an array of them. But I sort of go with the more, personal touch. Every client's different. So for me, it's taking 9 times out of 10, everyone's at a different store.
Yeah. So
having relationships with department stores and things like that is great because they're very versatile with what they have. But yeah.
I like, it's got to be amazing to see the transformation that happens with people when they...
It's really cool.
Actually feel more confident and have a new stellar look and looking dapper.
Totally. And I see it changes everything, like even relationships, if they go out on date night, anything like that, like it completely transforms anything really. And I think for mums especially, if they have, I know with one of my friends, she was like, I don't know what to wear, I've got nothing. And she felt like a completely different person. She just had a baby, but she was so confident that she was like, here I am, just because of this fabulous new dress. So
that's great. Like literally changing.
Yeah, you literally changed the mood, anything.
That's awesome.
Do you work with a lot of men?
I have done, yeah. We're going, that's building again now.
And you obviously like working with men. Or
I love
have your men's fashion line.
Right.
Yeah. I love styling men. I think it's fun. It's it's different from always styling women, and in a way, it's simple but not simple.
Yeah.
So it can be very sophisticated, but then you can do the full like rocker vibes, and it's a lot of fun because they're very versatile.
Rocker vibes. Send them my way.
Yeah.
The men, you mean? Okay.
Just the rocker guys.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's a lot of fun. I love styling for men as well.
What do you think about these ultra successful men? I've heard like Steve Jobs did it and a couple others that realized that you only get so much capacity for decision making in a day. So they would wear the same thing every day.
I think I don't think that's great.
Wild?
They just need a stylist.
They need a stylist, 100%. If you
because it's boring.
You can wear the same look every day, but different colors, different.
Yeah, you think they would hire a personal stylist to pick that out for them, so then they don't have to make the decisions and they still look cool.
Right.
Exactly. Like for example, what you're wearing today, you can switch the shirt out tomorrow for a white one. It's a completely different look.
Right.
So
or add a tie, or a scarf, or whatever. I mean, I think too, because like colors, like I dress on my mood, and colors can make me like feel a certain way or whatnot. Like I feel more. I love black, and I stopped wearing black for the longest time because it's like everybody in the East Coast wears black. It's so true. And so when I moved here, I was like, I have black, and black in my closet. So I tried to get more colorful, and so I stopped wearing black for the longest time. But then, when I wear color, it like can light me up, or like the black is like, I'm a mysterious seductress self. Like colors
Black's
can
very
make
boss
you like.
babe. Sassy vibes.
Boom, like
Invites
step
you to
into
bring out your dark side, huh?
My dark side's always right there. Step into the dark side. But yeah, I feel like, having the same thing to wear every single day, not only is it boring, but you're not like bringing
expanding
a piece of
your creativity.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that would be like a damper on your style.
Yeah, I always thought that was fascinating when I heard that.
Yeah. I mean, I had heard that before, and I kind of just dismissed it because I thought it was ridiculous.
Stupid. That's stupid.
But yeah.
So who's been your inspiration in the fashion field?
Design inspiration? Alexander McQueen.
Okay.
He is incredible. He's no longer with us, but everything that he did was out of this world. He was super creative, and he literally used to take trash bags and make a dress out of them. Like he would take anything and make it something, like make it a masterpiece. So it was like having, an artist with a fashion designer, and he just created magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've always, my style's very slowly based off his vibes, but I do love the classics as well. Your Chanel's, Dior's.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And when is the men's line coming out?
The men's line, we're hoping to have it out in the next couple months. We don't have an exact date yet, thanks to Chinese New Year. But other than that, we're a couple months away.
Nice.
So.
And for those that are ready for a makeover and they want to upgrade their style, how do they reach you, find you?
They can find me on my website, parishenriksen.com, and my social media, which is the same handle, at Paris Henriksen. And how else?
Perfect.
Yeah. ParisHenriksen.com. And we'll also post it, the links on our website for you guys to click on as well. And Paris, we just want to thank you so much for coming in and talking fashion with us, especially fashion through the holidays and everything else we chatted about. It's been really entertaining and fun. And something different, but it's also, what's really cool is like it's living in your truth, and it's so sexy because you're helping other people, other souls kind of find themselves like again, in a way, and that's or maybe in a way they never have, so that's incredible. And so thank you for the work that you're doing in the world as well.
Thank you.
So happy to have you on.
Thanks,
so
guys.
I think it's time for Soul Sexy Dance of the Week.
You get to pop the collar and get it on. You get to pop the collar and get it on. Do anything that makes you feel good.
Okay. And we're going to end the show this way. Everyone can check out our show on soulsexypodcast.com, or you can come back on LA Talk Radio and download it. Should be available later on today. And you can catch me at my handle at Real Bridgetta on Instagram. Charles?
You can catch me at greatestyou.com. That's greatest with the letter U. And on Instagram, it's Vacation Vibration.
Awesome. And we are on Thursdays, 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time.
Thank you. Until next time.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
And...